Shots fired now for two passengers. Okay. One white man.
Louisville police say officers responded to Baxter Avenue for reports of a triple shooting that turned deadly.
I got somebody down. I have a gunshot across the street in front of O'Shea's. Start firing EMS code 3.
The final hours of EST Blue Mike.
In the early hours of August 11th, 2024, gunfire erupted along Baxter Avenue, one of Louisville's busiest nightlife corridors. The street, usually filled with bar hoppers and college students, became the scene of an ambush.
Another man died at the hospital.
That night, Michael Batchelor, also known as EST Lou Mike, had been seen outside with a few friends near the city's West End, not far from where he'd grown up. No one expected for anyone to be hit. According to witness accounts, a group was standing together where the sound of rapid gunfire shattered the calm. Around 8 or 9 shots rang out in quick succession.
Hundreds of people filled the streets that night as police searched for suspects.
Neighbors later told police it sounded like a semi-automatic handgun, emptied in seconds. The shooter didn't stick around. Some said they saw a figure dart into a car and peel off into the night. Others claimed the gunman approached on foot, got close, and carried out the hit before disappearing. Just before...
Sound like a setup to me. You feel me? Got out the car, let off automatic, you know what I'm saying? Something automatic. And then hop back in there and skirt it off. You feel me? Yeah.
2 a.m., Louisville Metro Police responded to a report of multiple people shot near the 900 block of Baxter. When officers arrived, they found 3 injured, all men in their 20s. One of them was EST Lou Mike. When first responders arrived, they found Mike laying on the ground with multiple gunshot wounds, including to the head and chest. Paramedics tried to stabilize him, but the damage was too severe. He was pronounced deceased at the scene.
We gotta turn the body to the chest field. We're gonna have to start clearing the street.
Before that fateful night, Mike had been a voice for Louisville streets, a product of its pain and a symbol of its ambition, and his catalog was growing fast. In 2023, he appeared on the group compilation Shiners Are Forever, and all that time, he was releasing solo tracks. His lyrics were aggressive, unapologetic, and often personal, touching on loyalty, survival, and the blurred lines between music and street life. But while Mike's ties to ESTG led him to success, they would also lead to controversy.
The authorities say they are all members of a gang known as Everybody Shines Together, or EST.
Everybody Shines Together ain't a bad name for a gang. Everybody Shine Together is not a bad name for a gang. I mean, you know what I'm saying? If that's what y'all want to consider it, then you feel me, it is what it is. But, you know, at least they trying to get money. And they was getting money, you know what I'm saying?
2021, the FBI arrested 10 individuals linked to Everybody Shines Together, EST. Among those arrested were his manager, Eric Mosley, and business partner, Ricos Mosley. They faced serious charges.
How the manager going in is over with. No one ain't heard ESTG, you know what I'm saying, popping like that. You feel me? He probably looking for a new manager or something. You know what I'm saying?
Including dope trafficking and weapons offenses. During the investigation, authorities seized a kilogram of dope, firearms, a stolen vehicle, and $160,000 in cash.
A famous Louisville rapper, ESTG.
Why the hell you need a stolen vehicle if you get money? I don't understand that type of stuff.
Now tied through his name and his associates to one of the largest gang busts the feds have recently conducted. the U.S. Attorney's Office naming the street gang on their press release as Everybody Shine Together, or EST.
That same year, his label, Everybody Shines Together Entertainment, LLC, posted bond for Kevon Lawless, who was later found guilty for the hits of a father and his 3-year-old daughter. By 2024, the EST crew were some of the biggest names out of Louisville, but some claimed ESTG had started to feel boxed in, according to online commentary, including a video by Barberson TV. G was struggling to book shows at the rate he was used to. The reason, they said, wasn't him. It was Yo Gotti, who owned his label over the...
Yo Gotti always shutting something down, bro. Hey, Yo Gotti is like Birdman. Like Birdman used to be himself. Gotti still got that pool. You know what I'm saying? He still calling some shots. I don't know about Birdman calling shots like that, because I don't really think Cash Money is even doing nothing no more, to be honest. I ain't heard their names in a minute. You feel me? Anybody who signed a Cash Money, man, y'all get in the comments and let me know who's still signing with Cash Money.
Years, Yo Gotti had garnered a negative reputation based on some of the criminal activity he was allegedly being involved in. When young Dolph was gunned down in broad daylight in 2021, many believed it wasn't random. 2 men were arrested for the hit, but rumors pointed higher, specifically to Gotti's brother, Big Jook. One of the defendants later claimed in court that Jook had put a bounty on Dolph's head, though Yo Gotti had never been charged or publicly named as a suspect. The connection was enough for many to draw their own conclusions. And when Big Jook was hit in early 2024, that only deepened suspicions that the feud hadn't ended. It had gone full circle. Gotti's reputation and the baggage that came with CMG was allegedly making promoters and venues hesitant to work with anyone tied to his name.
So ESCG ain't really getting no shows and ain't doing no shows for real. Like, it slowed down his business. He ain't from Memphis. He ain't in that beef. That's how he looking. So he like, I'm trying to get paid or get out of this. Like, y'all gonna give me some more money. So he a guy like, nah, I need some more money. I'm trying to get such and such. Gotti like, nah, we already paid you up front. You owe us this on the back end. You in the negative. So they get...
Exactly, boy. And that's why you got to be careful with those record labels, you know what I'm saying? Or signing to anybody. And you feel me? I feel like that's why Dolph, you know what I'm saying, want to stay independent. He own his masters. You know what I'm saying? He ain't owe nobody. He got that out the mud. You feel me? And, yo, you signing record deals, you cook. These boys want money. You feel me? They don't care. They want money. Here, we gonna give you some. You know what I'm saying? Let you run the bag up. You know what I'm saying? Spin it. You feel what I'm saying? Now you gotta put in that work for real. If it was me, I'm finna put that money up, buy me something light. You know what I'm saying? And then I started reimbursing. You feel me? After my shows and you know what I'm saying, my bookings and things like that. Yeah, you ain't finna put me in your pocket for years on top of years. No.
Into a little argument. He a street nigga. He like, woo, but he ain't gonna get too far there with Gotti. Gotti is super duper millionaire. You know what they playing with, what's going on out in the world.
Barberson TV went further, claiming ESTG had quietly tried to exit his CMG contract. When Gotti said no, G allegedly removed all CMG affiliations from his social media, an industry signal that relationships behind the scenes were fractured. Fans noticed, blogs picked it up, and suddenly ESTG's loyalty was under a microscope. But G didn't let the rumors run too far. In a short but direct post on Instagram, he fired back. Stop making them fake videos lying about me and Gotti. I love Yo Gotti. It wasn't the first time he tried to set the record straight. In an interview with The Breakfast Club, G had already shut down talks of disloyalty, saying, me and Gotti locked in. I ain't turning my back on somebody who helped me. Still, for some reason, the damage was done. The removal of CMG from his bio, the quiet gaps in collaboration, and the swirling rumors around show cancellations continued to feed speculation. To those watching closely, the friction seemed real, even if both men publicly publicly denied it. For fans, it raised deeper questions. Was there tension inside CMG? Could business disagreements have made G or his circle vulnerable? In July 2024, ESTG headlined a homecoming concert at Louisville KFC Yum Center, billed as the ESTG and Friends Summer Jam. The event promised performances from major artists like Yo Gotti, Lil Baby, and 42 Doug. But behind the scenes, officials were alarmed. In a letter to the Yum Center's general manager, County Attorney Mike O'Connell raised concerns. I don't think the vast majority of citizens of Louisville know anything much about ESTG, and if they did, I believe they would overwhelmingly support Mayor Rudy's request to cancel the concert. Despite the warnings, the concert proceeded on July 20th, 2024, under heavy security. LMPD deployed over 80 officers, including SWAT and air units, while the Yum Center hired additional officers and ESTG provided its own security detail.
LMPD will provide extra security measures at a rap concert in downtown Louisville this weekend. Louisville rapper ESTG will perform at his...
And look, when they did that right there, shoot, they gave it even more. They gave it even more fire. They added even more fuel to the fire. You can put on the news that, you know what I'm saying, somebody coming to, a state, they finna do a concert, and yet we gonna use about 80, you know what I'm saying, security. That letting you know right there that, you know what I'm saying, hey, some people, let me show up. Let me go there, you know what I'm saying? Some bound to happen, hey, this gonna be lit, let me get up in there, you know what I'm saying? You need A, security, and then you blast it on the news. And everybody know, if you don't know, Louisville, Kentucky, they got some ways about them. If you don't know, do your research, man. You know what I'm saying? Go check something out, you know what I'm saying? Go get the Google, go tap in, whatever it is you need to do. But yeah, Louisville, Kentucky, they do got some, you know what I'm saying, some cutthroat little areas, you feel me? That's facts.
Summer Jam event. It's at the KFC Yum Center tomorrow night.
Around 1:30 a.m., just blocks from the concert venue, Louisville Metro Police responded to reports of gunfire near the 800 block of West Main Street. There, they discovered 31-year-old Devontae Beach, known in the music world as Big Beach, slumped inside a vehicle riddled with bullets. Emergency responders pronounced him dead at the scene.
Also new tonight, police are investigating after a man was found shot inside a car downtown. Just before 1:30 this morning, officers responded to a shooting on West Main Street, not far from the Slugger Museum and Factory. They found 31-year-old Devontae Beach inside a car. He'd been shot multiple times and at the scene.
The incident intensified scrutiny over the decision to hold the event despite prior warnings. And less than a month later, Lil Mike would also lose his life. Two men, both close to ESTG, passed away within a month. For many in Louisville, it was starting to look like something bigger than coincidence. And on the streets, rumors were already swirling. When EST Lil Mike was hit in August 2024, just weeks after the passing of Big Beach, many speculated that these hits were connected to the broader network surrounding G. Some believe that Mike's hit was a direct result of the dangerous affiliations and rivalries that came with being part of EST. But others noticed that just days before his passing, Mike previewed a new track on Instagram. The snippet featured a poignant verse. Every time these N-words slip, and we gon' do them dirty. I'm into purging, ain't nothing little about this 30. Some believe it was a direct shot at rivals, and could have been what provoked his demise. 3 months after the hit of EST Lil Mike, ESTG broke his silence. He dropped a song called R.I.P. Lil Mike, a somber track that served as a eulogy, a warning, and a statement of loyalty. But it was layered, cryptic, and the lyrics left listeners with more questions than answers. The tribute was raw and emotional, honored Lil Mike as someone who didn't run, but the language left space for interpretation, and on social media, speculations exploded. The most talked about lines came just before the 1 minute mark. R.I.P. Lil Mike took his own life, drawing down on his opponent. Their eyes was closed, so they wouldn't know they just heard the 4 Nick throwing. Even after he fell from shooting himself, you scared to walk down on him. On the surface.
What? Hold on. I'm gonna need somebody to go find that song for me, bro. Oh yeah, I might go find it. What is R.I.P. Lil Mike? Yeah. That don't sound right. He trying to say that, yeah, that don't sound right.
It sounded like G was saying Lil Mike shot himself, but some fans didn't take it that literally. In street slang, took his own life drawing down doesn't necessarily mean self-destruction. It's a way of saying he passed away trying to defend himself, that he knew what he was walking into and still pulled his weapon anyway. It framed Lil Mike's passing not as passive, but as an act of resistance, of standing tall in the face of danger. The next line painted a chaotic scene, bystanders ducking, unable or unwilling to see what really happened. Their eyes was closed, so they wouldn't know, G said. They just heard the 4-Nick throwing. The 4-Nick was a 45 caliber handgun. In other words, all anyone really heard was gunfire. But the most cryptic bar came next, even after he fell from shooting himself. Some interpret that literally, speculating that Lil Mike may have accidentally shot himself during the confrontation. Others took it metaphorically, as a way of saying he sealed his fate the moment he...
I'm trying to figure out how to. I don't, you know what I'm saying? If that's the case, you might have been doing a little too much. I'm trying to figure out how you can be aiming and then hit yourself. Yeah.
Pulled his gun, that in choosing to stand his ground, he stepped into a bad situation he couldn't walk away from. Then G turned his attention to whoever pulled the shot. You scared to walk down on him. G was calling out the shooter, saying they didn't have the heart to face Mike directly, that they struck him from the shadows. So was the assailant someone trying to retaliate against ESTG? Someone aiming for Lil Mike? Or was it an accident while Mike tried to defend himself? Despite the high-profile nature of the case, the Louisville Metro Police Department has not identified any suspects or motives in Lil Mike's hit. Investigators have not confirmed any links between the passing of Lil Mike and Big Beach, though both incidents remain under active investigation. As the community grapples with the loss and seeks answers, the investigation into EST Lil Mike's passing continues, with many hoping for justice and an end to the cycle of retaliations that have plagued Louisville's music scene. Rest in peace, EST Lil Mike.
Yeah. To me, it seemed like they just had some bad, you know what I'm saying, some bad blood going on. They had some very, very bad blood going on. You know what I mean? Rest in peace, Lil Mike, you know what I'm saying? EST, Lil Mike, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. And I ain't gonna cap, I haven't heard a lot from ESTG, you know what I'm saying? If y'all have, man, drop something in the comment, give me some, you know what I'm saying, some hard to listen to. But yeah, man, that was a quick little story, man. But yeah, sad situation. There's always a sad situation, man, because we be losing some good artists, man. Real talk. But as always, man, this is Jackpot's reaction. And until next video, I'm out.